Hello. So in response to my video this morning where I didn't really opine much on High Desert Community Watch, someone responded, and I don't know if this was a trick question or what. So, do you support High Desert Community Watch? And that's a hard question for me to answer. I mean, if I was in a deposition, it would be an easy question for me to answer. I'd just simply say no and rely on the opposing counsel to figure out the right follow-up questions to ask. But since I am not dealing with a bunch of opposing counsel, I feel like I should state clearly and explicitly my position for the billionth time or thereabouts.
You're lying, it wasn't a billion times.
So my position is that I don't support people, I support ideas. I support the notion of free speech. Insofar as somebody wants to express an idea, I support their right to do so. I oppose steps taken by the government or by individuals to limit the freedom of speech of others. That said, I also recognize that there are limits on how far it should be allowed, and reasonable minds can reasonably differ. I draw my lines at where your speech either ceases to be speech or where your speech starts to infringe on the ability of others to speak. Not where it starts to infringe, but where it overly burdens someone else's speech. But I don't support people, because people are complex. People are many-faceted. I'm sure there are some things about High Desert. I'm sure there are some things about Earl that I am in support of, some aspects of them. Earl claims that he gives out blankets to the homeless. That's a charitable thing. I'm not a real big fan of giving blankets out to the homeless, but I can appreciate that charitable step if it is in fact true. But that doesn't mean that I support Earl raping anyone, let alone his daughters. Same thing with High Desert. High Desert to me strikes me as a proud man who demands respect, but who also gives respect, generally speaking, not necessarily to cops, at least straight off the bat. And his idea of what giving respect to them isn't exactly mine, but I think he does try to operate within a framework of respect. I think he tries to operate within that framework. Now, I have called him out several times on several issues. I called him out on his display in front of a court with a young black man who was not very enthusiastic about being filmed on the court steps. And it was long and heated, and it had a large crowd of people, and I don't think that it served High Desert stated purposes at all. Again, I don't claim to be a mind reader, but my best guess is that High Desert's stated purposes aren't exactly what his real purposes are. I think he does make money off it. I don't think he makes the $10,000 a month that is estimated or whatever, but I think he does make money off of it, and I think he does enjoy that aspect of it, and that probably is part of, at least, his motivation for being out there. I've also called him out on the shit and split. It was him and Adam and Ida Foxy Queen, etc., in a video where I initially called that out, and I asked the community to come up with a fun saying for that kind of thing, and we got some real good ones, but the one that seems to have stuck was shit and split, where you go into a post office and you act like a shithead, you take a big shit and you smear it all over the walls, and then when they say they're calling the cops, then you run outside to the sidewalk, to the traditional public forum, and wait for the cops to get there. That was a High Desert Community Watch video. In the interview I did with High Desert Community Watch, in all of the interviews I've done, I have tried to be, with the exception of Sovereign Citizens, I have tried to be reasonable, and I have tried to be respectful, and to give the person I am interviewing the time and opportunity not just to state their position, but to explain it if they want to. I don't just run over them the whole time. And I didn't do that with High Desert. The one point that I was really trying to press with High Desert, so that people could use that point to draw a diagram about the rest of High Desert's statements and insights. Well, there's two things. One is 148G, and I asked him why his own attorney wasn't using 148G in the manner that High Desert thought it should be used as. And he gracefully backed out of that one. So that was one point I wasn't able to make, because he said, that's up to his attorney, and he's not going to second guess her, and he's not going to get involved, and that's ongoing litigation. And you know what? That was the right move for him to make. But what I was allowed to pin him down on was he had made a statement in a video. I think it was Alameda County, or it might have been San Francisco County, where he was telling a group of his little students, I guess, auditors in training, that it was a money-making scheme, that the building that they were going to be auditing was there to make money. It was there to generate income, going down the policing for profit route. So the second line of questioning, that was my getcha, kind of allow the community to get an understanding of what you know and what you don't know, was going down the policing for profit, asking him how much money they made, how much money it cost, etc. I was much more successful on that front. He ended up saying that he doesn't know. He doesn't know. It's just, he's not standing behind that statement. He doesn't actually know how much money it costs. It's just a feeling that he gets, and he has a right to say it. And I actually agree, he has a right to say it. That doesn't make it true, but he has a right to say it. So people think that I was too easy on High Desert Community Watch, and that's fine, you're allowed to, but I was easy on all of my interviewees. I was easy on Pink Camera Magic. All she had to do was say, yeah, she did in fact have a felony record. Okay? What else am I going to catch her on? Anyway, so all the way back to the beginning. Do I support High Desert Community Watch? I don't support anybody. And High Desert Community Watch is somebody. I support High Desert Community Watch's right to film in public. I support his right to free speech. I support his right to make money off of his activities. Just like I supported Earl's right to free speech, and I supported Earl's right to film in public, and I supported Earl's right to make money off of it, and I still do. In fact, the only thing that I critique Earl on lately is talking about his case, and not because he doesn't have a right to, but because he's hurting his case. He's too dumb to realize it. But a long time ago, I said that, convicted rapists still have a First Amendment right, and they do. Maybe they don't have the right to go around schools. Maybe. They certainly don't have a right to cause alarm. They certainly don't have a Second Amendment right to carry around firearms. But at this point, just because you've been convicted of rape doesn't mean you lose your First Amendment. And it doesn't mean that you should not be allowed to make money, because either you make your own money or you go on the public dole. And personally, I'd rather you make your own money. So I am maintaining consistency in this for whatever Earl might try to play. Just like I disagree with raping women and raping your daughters, I disagree with battering women. I disagree with battering anybody or raping anybody. But there is still a huge difference between what Earl's done and what High Desert Community Watch has done. And there's also a huge difference in the level of proof that has been offered. I don't even know if Ida Foxy Queen has pressed charges or made an official report or filed anything. To the best of my knowledge, there have been no charges pursued against High Desert Community Watch. So when there is, I'll shake my head in disgust at another member of the community being charged with domestic violence, and I'll let it go from there. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.